Hello everyone. Yes, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and well, no excuse, just gonna have to deal with it. And of course, it's spooky season with Halloween coming here soon, my favorite holiday. Mostly when I post videos around this time. So, everyone is talking about Halloween Ends. I I'm gonna have to make another video of my thoughts on the whole entire franchise. But in short, I like the Halloween franchise, but I'm very picky about which of the movies I like. And of course, Halloween comes to an end with Laurie Strode going up against Michael for the umpteenth time. Joking aside, this movie is very, very, very split with fans right now, even newcomer fans. And that's no surprise to me. For being a longtime fan of the series, and also a big fan of Jamie Lee Curtis because she is still gorgeous to this day, in my opinion. Don't care what you say. Anyway, seeing the movie with Halloween Ends, getting right down to it, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. It is a pretty good ending to this franchise, to this trilogy, even though I would say it's the fourth installment since they're going off of Halloween 78, and then we got Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and then this finally Halloween Ends. I'm not going to get into any spoilers or anything like that. Um, but what I will say is that how this film ends was satisfying to me, but I do get the negatives because it's not like the previous two films. This one almost kind of stands on its own, but then again, third entries in a trilogy, even in a franchise, the landing is a kind of a stumble, but also a miss. The only one in a third trilogy I can think of that was satisfying was Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and that's all because all of those three movies were really just one whole story. Even though I will admit, The Return of the King had too many pauses of multiple endings, and that's how the book was. This one somewhat kind of retcons things, but it stays in what David Gordon Green, and Danny McBride had written in the previous two, which is about trauma, loss, guilt, fear, paranoia that goes in. And also, to be honest, I didn't really care about Laurie's granddaughter in the first two films. I really cared about her in this one. Not only with a new character that they brought in, you really feel sympathy for him. At first, I just saw teasers. I really stayed away from Reddit, and I stayed away from people supposedly spoiling the movie. I stay away from that stuff. And the marketing for this film, I'm pretty sure it'll do well, but it won't be a mega hit like the 2018 film. Let alone we had the shitty pandemic that happened to us, because Halloween Kills made money, but it didn't do as well because they put it on Peacock, Universal Studios streaming service. But looking closely at this franchise, I went in with very low expectations because this franchise has been rebooted 3 times. But how this all comes to an end, for me personally, was satisfying. And of course, there are going to be others saying, well, I mean, it kind of might allude to something else. That maybe an essence of the evil, is still there. What the main thing is with Michael, even from the 78 version, is he was known as the Shape. And in this one, even in this new trilogy, Laurie always calls Michael the Shape. She mentions it. I know it's kind of eye rolling, but his evil does take shape. Evil, that's the main thing with this film, is that evil can take many shapes. And not only that, that they kind of allude to in a way that Michael might be somewhat supernatural. Even though Kills is a mixed bag, I recently binge watched Halloween 78 2018 Kills, and I hadn't seen Kills since last year when it came out because I didn't really like it that much. There's some things I liked about it, but binging the movies all in one, I actually like Kills a little bit more now. You know, I get the hate towards it, but and also that Kills should have been what this movie is. You don't need to stretch out a movie, especially what Halloween Kills gave us, that it all took place within one night. Didn't really need to stretch it out. But however, though, the way it ends, Halloween ends, is it's a time jump. It's 4 years later, and you're seeing this Haddonfield, this town that is still haunted by Michael, and investigations still going on every once Halloween that there might be a murder, but everybody figures it's like it's not Michael. We don't know what happened to him. He went away. Laurie's coping with the loss of her daughter, the loss of also just everyone in her life, and how this man affected everything. It's very powerful. You know, it's very interesting. Although I mean, it is kind of weird. Even if you do see her in the trailer, like she's decorating for Halloween, it's kind of odd. But when watching the film and her explaining, even her daughter explaining that she went to therapy, she took steps, you know, and to be who she is in the film, but she still harkens on it. She's writing her memoir. That's a little bit of spoilers, but I won't go into anything else in deeper. Um, for me, how to watch these films, including Halloween Ends, they're all really solid films. From the 78 to 2018 to Halloween Kills to Halloween Ends, they're all pretty solid. Especially how I binged it and before I went to go see it earlier today, and I'll probably go see it again. You know, to just to see if I'm not just hyped, but I really wasn't hyped to see this movie. I went in with low expectations, as I always went with the other films with low expectations when they were on TV. I mean, I watched Halloween. They always showed Halloween 2 on AMC while I was growing up, when I was about 12 years old, and then I had no idea Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, I didn't know what the title was. I had no idea it was connected, and that John Carpenter back then wanted to do an anthology of these films where every Halloween something either supernatural or monstrous happens. You know, that's what Season of the Witch was, but everyone back then when it released, they wanted to see Michael Myers. Now, granted, I like Season of the Witch. I just don't like the characters. The characters are really sloppy, and what they say and what they do, it has not aged well at all. But I liked the story. I liked what the main villain was trying to do, was bring back Halloween to its old Samhain traditions. Really like John Carpenter's score that he made, and he's an amazing composer. And of course, recently he did announce that he still is interested in making a Dead Space movie. All I have to say is Universal Studios and Blumhouse, get the rights to Dead Space and let John Carpenter go wild. Don't oversee him. The man knows what he does. Let him do it. He would do an awesome job, especially considering that Dead Space is pretty much the thing that he did. So come on, shut up and take our money. Take my money. I will give you my money for John Carpenter to make Dead Space the movie. Other than that, if people don't like this film and they still don't like Halloween Kills, with this franchise, you kind of have perfect movies to ignore the others. I mean, you can. I mean, if you still wanted like an anthology like John Carpenter wanted, you can watch Halloween 1978 and then watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And that's a perfect anthology, in my opinion. Or just watch Halloween 78 and then Halloween 2 1980. Or watch Halloween 2, and then Halloween H2O. Silly name, but it was 20 years later. Which, I mean, I personally really liked Halloween H2O. There's some nostalgia there because I remember the promotions and stuff as a kid. Granted, it hasn't aged very well because the makers kept on switching up Michael's freaking mask. They couldn't decide on which mask what to go with. But we got a better version than that. We got a better version than Halloween H2O, and that was Halloween 2018, where you can just watch Halloween 78 and Halloween 2018, as I said before. And that's it. I really didn't care for the other Halloween movies, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, which is just the worst. I know there's a producer's cut. I've seen it, and I really don't care for it. The all three of those movies are just bad. But I will give credit though to Halloween 4, how it ended with Jamie near the end. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Jamie near the end getting the clown mask, going up the stairs, and then stabbing her stepmother, I believe. But the scissors, it's been a long time since I've seen it. And then Dr. Loomis and everybody look up at the stairs, and her her hand is all bloody with the scissors on it, and it just ends where it's like, oh my god, Michael's dead, but now Jamie Lloyd is the new killer. And then you get to the fifth one and they retcon it. And that's another thing with this franchise. There's a lot of retcons. So for everybody complaining about this one, that because there are some retcons in this, but none of them that really bothered me. Because it's kind of what I expected. I mean, this franchise has been rebooted. I've said it before. This franchise has been rebooted 3 times. And also, I will throw a bone to Rob Zombie's Halloween. I never saw the sequel. I probably never will see Halloween 2 that Rob Zombie did. How the first one ended for Rob Zombie was perfect. Laurie blew his head off. But yeah, if people are complaining, I totally get it. But you shouldn't really give so much hate to this because looking at the whole entire franchise, if a person were to binge watch the whole franchise and then watch this new trilogy and watch Halloween Ends, I'm pretty sure they would really, really, really hate it. which I can understand because if you watch just Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, you begin to realize that Michael Myers really isn't that great. He's kind of a knockoff of Jason Voorhees, even though Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th came after Halloween. It's just a whole big mess, that old franchise. And I will say Halloween Resurrections, although I don't like the beginning of it and how it's a continuation of Halloween 20 years later, because that just infuriated me. Over time, I've grown to just laugh at it and just think of it as this is a spoof. This is like the biggest spoof they can ever do. Yes, everybody talks about Busta Rhymes fly kicking Michael Myers and having the whole webcam live footage, when thinking about it, that was 2002. Kind of ahead of the time. But not a lot of people back then, I'm sure, were watching this live stream, especially with AOL back then, if anybody remembers that. All I can say is I recommend Halloween Ends. if you liked the previous one and you liked the last one, you probably will like this one. But just remember, when you go into it, go in with low expectations. It's it's a completely different movie. The kills are pretty decent, but also it's with the new characters they introduced. I like them, but also I hated some of the characters, and they got their due, rightfully so. uh, and also the big thing with this one is that this is a spoiler. There's not a lot of Michael, and I get that, but we had more. If you're complaining about that, just come off of it, okay? We had plenty of Michael Myers in the last film. We had even enough of Michael Myers in the 2018 film. So to complain that there's not enough Michael Myers in this one, I understand it, but you know what? For the story's sake, I get it. I totally get it. But yeah, I'm I'm not gonna rage or anything like that. That's not what my channel's about. Um, but I will say though, I really did enjoy myself. I'm pretty sure Black Adam, when it comes out next week, is gonna completely destroy this movie. There's no doubt about that. I haven't seen The Barbarian. I really wanted to. I'll have to check it out when it comes on Vudu. Believe they said it might be on Vudu near the end of this month. Close enough for Halloween, so I might check that out. I didn't bother watching Smile. It just looked like Truth or Dare to me. And I didn't care for Truth or Dare. That was another terrible, terrible, terrible horror movie that I rented and wasted a couple of dollars on the Redbox. Yes, I do go out and rent stuff from Redbox instead of doing digitally. I rather not just stay in my house than just click and I can rent it off of Vudu. No, I'd rather get up and still go because I still miss going to places to rent things. I still miss renting videos. I miss renting video games. You can't do that anymore. If somebody else has a video game, I want to. I just ask if I can borrow it from them. Either case, I'm glad this franchise is done for now. It's done for now. I did read somewhere, I think it might have been Bloody Disgusting, where the makers were maybe teasing of doing an anthology. If so, do it. Do an anthology. Especially how this film ends. Just to hint at that it's still in the same universe, but do a decent enough job. I don't know if they would do, like, I mean, if you want to remake Season of the Witch, oh my gosh, do it. But just make it a different title. Because there really was no witch in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Just give it a different title. You can definitely remake that movie with better characters. Especially how, holy cow, Silver Shamrock. I mean, it could be an app with today. It could be on a streaming service and an ad if people don't have YouTube Red and they can't skip it. Or even they're on Hulu because Hulu has freaking ads too, and now Netflix is gonna get ads. I mean, it's right there. You can do it. But in either case, I really, really, really enjoyed this movie. It's not my favorite in the current trilogy. I still really enjoy and love, and will probably watch more of Halloween 2018 than I probably will Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends. Um, I usually watch the Halloween series this time of the year. Every once in a while, I might watch the crappy ones. I mean, Halloween 4 Return of Michael Myers is free on YouTube. So, might give that a shot. Because, I mean, there is some nostalgia there because I did watch it on AMC when they had Fright Nights, or they had the 30 Days of Halloween, or 13 Days of Halloween, if I can remember right. But yeah, um, let me know what you guys thought of Halloween Ends. Did you hate it as much as everybody else is right now, saying it's the worst in the franchise? Even though I completely disagree with that, it is not the worst in the franchise. That's like saying Friday, like any of the Friday the 13th movies, like the only worst one in that franchise, I think, is Jason Takes Manhattan, and he only ends up in Manhattan in the last 12 minutes, 15 minutes of that movie. That's the worst in the franchise, even though it's not saying much because some of them aren't really that great, but others are just fun. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Uh, get me your Let me know your thoughts about this franchise. Did you love the franchise? Do you hate the franchise? Do you think it should come back as an anthology? For me personally, I hope it does. But like my video, share, subscribe. Again, I'm this is something I do once in a great while. I'm not looking for fame or money or anything. I just like giving my opinion on movies and video games and stuff that I love. And I will do my best to try and make as many videos as I can. Maybe I won't be as camera shy anymore and you'll get to see my face. But then again, those videos will have to be short because I do these videos because YouTube can make them run long, apparently. So, again, I hope you guys have a great Halloween, spooky time this year, and enjoy some good movies because some of the horror movies that have come out lately have been pretty good. One I really do recommend, and then again, it came out during when the world shut down, was The Invisible Man. I revisited recently and I saw it when it was in theaters. Good movie. I do want to make another video about the Dark Universe because I'm probably one of the very, very small few who wanted the Dark Universe to succeed. We had 3 attempts. I still love Benicio del Toro's The Wolfman. I know it's not an amazing movie, but I love the atmosphere. It was a decent remake of the original. Dracula Untold gets a lot of hate. Only 2 things I don't like about that Dracula's Untold is that CGI sucks and the rating didn't need to be PG-13. Those are the only 2 things that bug me about that movie. Charles Dance is an amazing freaking villain who gave Luke Evans his power. I wanted to see more of that. Tom Cruise's The Mummy, it's a mixed bag, but I had fun with it. It was just a summer blockbuster, even though didn't make that much money. Pretty much killed that dark universe, but The Invisible Man kind of gives me hope. It gives me hope because I would love for this generation, this silly generation, to know that it's not just about paranormal activity or Saw movies or just regular other vampire movies. The Universal monster movies not only are just monsters, but they're really great characters. And Lee Winnell's The Invisible Man did an amazing job. I mean, it's not really solely about the Invisible Man that you don't see him, but it's also about Elizabeth Moss's character. I mean, if anything, it's Julie Roberts sleeping with the enemy meets the Invisible Man. Again, give that one a watch. Again, hope you guys enjoy listening to this video. As soon as I feel comfortable, you'll see my face again with limited amount of time. Uh, like, share, subscribe, and have a good spooky season.